In Ismailia, protesters stormed the ruling Muslim Brotherhood's headquarters. And back in Cairo, there were fierce clashes outside the palace of Islamist President Mohamed Morsi. As night fell, medics warned that the amount of tear gas in the capital had reached dangerous levels. While violence lasted throughout the night in his country, the Prime Minister was in Davos, playing down the deep divisions between the Islamists and the secular opposition.
I want to tell those people in the Tahrir Square right now, after you air out your voice and your statements, please go back to work hard for yourself, for your people, for your family, because that's the only way to achieve the aspiration of the Egyptian revolution.
Egypt is struggling to find a balance between a leadership that boasts the legitimacy of the ballot box and opponents who accuse it of betraying the goals of the revolution. A balance which appears to be increasingly elusive.
The world is hoping for one, but reconciliation is far away from the political horizon in Syria. Rebels and security forces are locked in a deadly fight for the Idlib central prison. Tim Lister looks at the fierce battle which began early Friday.
First, they punch a hole in the prison's outer wall. Dozens of rebel fighters pour through.
Allahu Akbar.
God is greater, they shout.
Allahu Akbar.
Taking up positions behind a second wall. Heavy gunfire follows. There are casualties. One opposition source says 10 fighters were killed. Idlib's central prison is like a fortress. Human rights groups say detainees have been tortured here. Twice a regime plane roars overhead. There are anxious glances, futile shots into the sky. But the rebels are much better armed than they used to be. Al-Assad described us as rats, says one of the fighters, but we're the lions. He and his gang are the rats. We're inside their strongholds. Eventually, they penetrate the prison's defences. Inmates wave in desperation as gunfire echoes through the compound. The rebels wrench the bars from cell windows. A few minutes later, a couple of dozen prisoners are free. And then, the job of getting them to safety. Altogether, opposition activists say some 300 inmates have been freed from the prison, criminals and political prisoners, they say. 3 rebel brigades were involved in the attack, but according to activists, the regime still controlled parts of the prison by nightfall Friday. It's the last major government-controlled site west of the city of Idlib, an area where the rebels are remorselessly gaining ground. Tim Lister, CNN, Atlanta.
We will now take our second break.
nak Mama Jey dimanche bu nek ci GRTS ci juroom ñaari waxtu ye genn wala ci ngoon ba ci juroom ñetti waxtu yi jamono ji programme bu xew te and ak jamono.
And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. The seaside settlement of Sanyang has organized its Median Cultural Festival, uniting 12 traditional groupings from the community. The Network on Gender-Based Violence and partners have gathered to raise awareness of participants on pertinent issues affecting women and girls. Malian troops have pushed Islamic militants further into the north, gaining more ground amid new accounts of brutality by government forces. And still far from reconciliation, Syrian government troops and rebels are locked in fierce firefight for the control of Idlib's central prison. That's all in this edition of the news. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.